Welcome, everybody. Welcome, fellow patriots. Welcome, fellow deplorables. And welcome, all you Trump chumps. I guess that's the new one out there now. Welcome once again to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Angle, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commando Radio Network, with a shout out to our listeners in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Nevada, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Colorado, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. And of course, we are seen on the AUN TV network in Northern California, San Francisco, San Rafael, Marin, North Bay, San Jose, Silicon Valley, Santa Rosa, Redding, Sacramento, Chico, Fort Bragg, and soon in Carson City, Reno, and Lake Tahoe. My co-host today is Dr. Nasir Shaikh. Nasir, welcome to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Thanks, Sharron. Glad to be with you once again. Let's start it all off by saying it's just an absolute another great day to be alive and well and free and living in the United States of America, the greatest country in the history of the world, bar none. So, I don't know, is there something important coming around the corner in a few, like 7 or 8 days, whatever it is? I think there's something going on.
You think so? How's the voting going in North Carolina?
I'll tell you what, right now, North Carolina, you hear this across the board in almost every state. Early voting numbers are up. Mail-in ballots are up. And traditionally, what we've been seeing is that what the Democrats have always tried to do, and what the Hillary Clinton playbook was, what the Joe Biden team's playbook has been, is that they were hoping to run up the numbers in the early voting and the mail-in ballots and have leads big enough, because they know that traditionally Republicans come out on the day of voting and, can make those where they're losing by, can make those gains up, as we saw what President Trump did by bringing out the vote in 2016. Well, what's happening now is, Sharron, is that if you take a look at the national polls, yes, they're showing that, Biden is up by 8, 9, 10 points. But when you take a look at other things out there too, Sharron, when you take a look at Rasmussen, which showed that in one day, there was a jump from 29% to 46% of Black voters who said they were supporting President Trump. When you took a look at the Gallup poll that said 56% of Americans feel better 4 years than they did, 4 years now than they did, 4 years before. Even Barack Obama wasn't at 56%. Ronald Reagan at the same time was 44% when he was going to his second term. So when you take a look at that and you say, is there any way? Now, look, we could all be wrong, but Joe Biden is not going to win by double digits. He's not going to win by 8%. There's just no way that's happening. And if you take a look at other polls, like just to give you an idea, take a look at the Black support. McCain had 4% in 2008 when Barack Obama just got upwards of 94, 95% of the Black vote. Romney in 2012 got 6%. Trump got 9% in 2016. With Brexit, with everything that you see on social media, how many Black Americans do we see out there? Candace Owen and Diamond and Silk and these other people just basically talking about how many Blacks are leaving the Democratic plantation. You don't see it the other way around. So with all that happening, I've been looking at some of this stuff, deep diving, and I really think that Trump is going to get 15 to 20% of the Black vote. And I'll tell you what, I think if we got upwards of 20 to 25%, that would not surprise me at all. Just to give you an idea, right now in North Carolina, when they look at this stuff of the early voting and mail-in ballots, you are seeing that from 2018, the midterms, to now, the Black vote is almost down 2% already here. And if you take a look at other places, it's down as well. The youth vote, that is absolutely, they're just nowhere to be seen. You take a look at what's happening around Philadelphia. It's So I have some great anticipation of a Trump victory and where he's going to crush it. And I'm telling you what, they are going to come out in droves. I mean, if they thought that these polls were going to depress the American people voting for Donald Trump, they were completely wrong, Sharon. Your thoughts? What's happening out in your neck of the woods?
Well, it's difficult to tell, actually, because we're a mandated state. You know, we have mandated mail-in ballots. Everybody got one. And so when they say, well, mail-in ballots are up this year in Nevada, of course they are. Of course they are. I mean, what other way is it going to be? I mean, people are going to the polls because they had to give us that option. But by and large, most people are saying, oh, yeah, I got this mail-in ballot. I guess I have to return it. And so it's not by choice that they're mailing their ballots in. It's because it's something that was done universally. You know, that's the difference between a mail-in ballot and an absentee ballot. An absentee ballot, you proactively requested that ballot. You said, I'm not going to be around. I'm going to be out of town, or I'm sick, or I live in a convalescent home, or something like that. It's a premeditated request. You ask for it, it comes. But this is just wholesale. And, you know, we've been looking at our voter registration rolls, and it's been quite interesting to find out what's going on in those rolls. We gave some findings to the Secretary of State way back in July saying, look here, there are 9 people in our state that are 118 years old, and they're voting this year. There are 10 people who are 119 years old and they're voting this year. And there are 3 people that are 120 years old and they're voting this year. How does that happen? And I think everybody should be thinking about coming to Nevada. We obviously have the Fountain of Youth here, right?
Absolutely. It must be the water.
Yeah, it must be something. But anyway, you know, we did get one answer from a county clerk out in Elko County. She read our findings and looked it up and said, oh, typo. That should have been 1990 birthday, not 1900. But still, you know, it's very interesting to me that these mistakes are made. They're on the rolls. People are getting ballots and nobody's checking up on them except for election integrity project groups that are actually saying, wait a second, we have to look at this. We have to clear these rolls out. And this is the reason we have to do that. And this is why a universal mail-in ballot is so destructive to a fair and honest vote here in the United States, because you know, Nevada isn't unique, Nasir. Every state has some issues when it comes to their voter rolls. Otherwise, 353 counties wouldn't be declaring that they have over 100% voter registration.
Right. Or in some precincts before, in 2016, you know, we knew there were some precincts where there was 100%, right? And Mitt Romney didn't get a single vote.
Right.
In the Philadelphia area. So we know these pockets occur, Sharon. Unfortunately, when you have the media on your side, you've got Hollywood hypocrites on your side, you know, you've got the academics, you know, institutions on your side, and they say that anybody that thinks that there's voter fraud is just peddling some right-wing conspiracy. I mean, that's what we have to fight with us conservatives on the right, Republicans. We've just got to continue to do what we can do, show the stories, and eventually one day, you know, hopefully something massive will happen. But in the meantime, you know, that could ruin an election process. I mean, look what happened in California for those 3 House district seats. These people were up by 3, 4, 5% on election night. The next morning afterwards, they find out that they lost. So where did that go? Ballot harvesting.
Yeah, one of those guys was already seated in the Congress. He was decorating his office, and they called him home and said, "Oops, we found a bunch of ballots, and now that we've counted them, guess what? You lose." And off went another candidate. So it was It really is something that everybody in the United States should be very, very concerned about, is getting this thing cleaned up to such an extent that we can check it out and see what's going on, especially with things like ballot harvesting. And of course, they made that legal in our state along with universal ballots. We got ballot harvesting. Yeah, that should be illegal. And there's lots of reasons. And you can check out Project Veritas's website and see just exactly why it should be made illegal. But we need to go to a break right now. We're coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet. TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM FM 24/7. We'll be right back after this break. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and we're going to talk about our guests today.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh. If you'd like to hear a rebroadcast of our show today, check out our website, ccrshow.com, ccrshow.com, or aun-tv.com, aun-tv.com. And Nasir, we have 3 great guests today. Who are they?
Thank you, Sharron. Well, you know what? We like to tell everybody that when you're right, you're right. When you're left, you're wrong. And our guests are always right. Our first guest we're going to have is Jeff Crouere. He's a host of Ringside Politics and also has his own YouTube channel called the Jeff Crouere YouTube channel. Jeff is going to be talking to us about his article called The Deja Vu Election. We also have Tristan Justice. He's a staff writer at The Federalist. He's going to be talking to us about his article about what came up in the Senate GOP, the details about the FBI and the General Services Administration colluding and undermining the Trump transition team. And also, he's going to be talking to us about an article on Amy Coney Barrett. And then finally, we're also going to be having Rick Moran. He is the PJ Media's Chicago editor, and he has his own blog, The Right Wing Nut House. And he's going to be talking to us about his article, Biden's transition from oil comment becomes a big fracking problem in Pennsylvania. So we got 3 great guests lined up for us. And Sharron, is there anything out there in the horizon that, on the political side that you want to talk about?
Well, our governor is a very political animal, and he's made hay with this COVID-19 thing. He's always in the news. We're one of those shutdown states. I see bumper stickers now all over town saying, "Open Nevada up! It's time to open," and get our businesses back to work. We're suffering. I think we're number 1 in the nation as far as whose economy has suffered the most over these shutdowns. And of course, that's understandable because our major economic engine here is tourism. And if you can't get the tourists if you can't open up your businesses enough to bring tourists in, if your restaurants are running half capacity, your casinos are running half capacity, and your hotels are running half capacity, it's really difficult. And of course, if your governor has the mask mandate going on and the shut down the businesses going on, it's really, really difficult for us to make it much headway here. But an interesting thing, and I guess I want your opinion as a doctor, as a medical doctor. He's talking now about these COVID-19 vaccinations and how he has already made a decision on who gets to have the vaccine and who gets to have it first. And I'm asking, should we even get the vaccine? Is this something that, I've heard that viruses you can't really vaccinate against. And when I go get my flu shot, I usually get the flu. So what's going on there?
Again, there shouldn't be a mandate. I think people should be able to decide for themselves what they should do, what they should take. If somebody were to ask me and say, when the first vaccines roll off the assembly line, would I want to be first in line to be taking one? Hell no, I wouldn't. But, because when this happens, and people think just because you get a vaccine, it's going to be over. We'll never have COVID, Wuhan Chinese virus anymore. And that nothing could be further from the truth. Look at what's happening with the H1N1, the swine flu. People still get that. The normal flu, like you said, you get your flu shot and people get the flu after that. And they go, but then they talk about herd immunity. Look at what's happening in Europe. They did the lockdowns. They did the masks. And now we're seeing a huge surge in Europe because guess what? They didn't allow the natural progression to occur where, look, if you're probably under the age of 60 and you get the Chinese virus, 99.99% chance, okay, you're going to have mild symptoms. And after that, you're going to be fine. Now, yes, if you have some, if you're older, if you've got, some health challenges like, diabetes or emphysema or, lung problems or those kind of things, heart problems, really, those kind of things, you need to be careful. So yeah, I would suggest, you wear a mask. You go into a hospital, yeah, wear a mask, but not if you're out skiing on the lake, or swimming in the ocean or whatever, that you should be putting a mask on. And like in Memorial Day in New York, Comrade de Blasio basically said, the governor and Mayor Bloomberg said, we're going to arrest people on the beach if you're in the water without a mask on. This is just stupidity, Sharron.
Well, and I thought it was interesting that he wants healthcare workers and first responders and lab employees to get the vaccine first. So
I
here
think it's
you're a
yeah.
doctor and you're saying not me. That would not be who I would want it. Wouldn't it? I mean, if the vaccine is, if we give it to all of them first and they have the reaction of getting the virus, that just kind of puts our whole healthcare system at risk, doesn't it? I mean,
Well, it does. And look, this is what happens. I mean, people have taken the flu shots. They took the H1N vaccines. They had reactions to them. Some people probably did die. So this is just, this is just part of medicine, unfortunately. It's going to happen. But they're bringing this vaccine out. They're always talking about the vaccine because I think, if you said we're not going to make a vaccine, then that's just ludicrous too. But, you're right. Now, who gets that? If there's a first responder, somebody in the healthcare field, and they feel that they want to go ahead and do it, that's up to them. Just knowing what I know and talking to other people and what's happening when these vaccines initially come out, they usually, when they give it to people, they follow them up, see what's happened, what type of, what happened. Did they get a fever? Were they nauseous? Their stomach was upset? Did they get any symptoms that we're supposed to try to prevent? What was going on? Any reactions of those kind? And then they sort of build a case study on that. And then they look at thousands of people that have done that. And then they figure out, is the vaccine doing what it's supposed to be doing or is it not? And, do we need to go back to the drawing board? Is the vaccine working? So they have these algorithms that they can look at. So in short, like I said, I think it's going to be everybody has to make that decision for themselves.
And I'm so grateful that we have a doctor in the house today to give us a little insight, because most of these first responders are very healthy young people. It's the old guys that are retired that are really the ones that are at the greatest risk. And so to me, it is almost like you're vaccinating somebody that doesn't need a vaccine.
I think if you've got your protective equipment on, you've got your mask on, you've got your gloves, and you're handling or dealing with the patient with the Chinese virus in a hospital setting or as a first responder, I think you're pretty well safe. And if you're young, now if there was a first responder that's in his 60s or 70s and is still out there, you know what? Maybe there is some extra precaution, that he would be willing to, to take in terms of a vaccine, those kind of things. So, again, there shouldn't be a mandate. People shouldn't be forced to do this. This is why we live in this country, because we should have a choice.
Well, like I said, I'm so glad we got a doctor in the house to handle some of this stuff for us, because, I'm feeling a need to buy some hydroxychloroquine here in my state and get myself ready to go, because if those vaccines are coming, I want to be ready to treat whatever they're going to give me if I have to submit myself to something like that. I'm going to say, though, my doctor has advised that I make my own choice and choose what's best for me. And with that, we are going to take a break. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, NetTalk America, and AM/FM 24/7. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh. And on the other side, we're going to be talking with our first guest, Jeff Crouere, who is the host of Ringside Politics, which airs weekdays on WGSO 990 AM. And of course, he's also on the AUN TV network. He's going to be talking to us about the Deja Vu election. We'll be right back after these messages.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh. And if you'd like to see a rebroadcast of our show, check out our website, ccrshow.com, ccrshow.com. You can also see us on the AUN TV network. That's AUN-TV.com. And right now, Nasir, our next guest, is ready. Would you please introduce him?
Thank you so much, Sharon. We have Jeff Crouere. He's a host of Ringside Politics. It airs weekdays on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans. He's also a political columnist. He's the author of America's Last Chance, and he provides commentaries on the Jeff Crouere YouTube channel as well. Jeff, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Good to be with you. Thanks so much for having me, Nasir and Sharon. I always enjoy coming on the program.
Well, great. Well, you know what? We love to always have conservatives and patriots here on our show. So we want to talk to you about, there it was, deja vu. The deja vu election. So give us a sense. Isn't it starting to feel like 2016 all over again? I'm getting giddy and goosebumps all over.
You know, Nasir, it really is. To go back to 2016, we had Donald Trump up in the political establishment. He upset the media, Hollywood, Democrats, the deep state, won the nomination, and nobody gave him a chance. You had the Access Hollywood tape that came out. He was behind in the polls to Hillary. Some of the experts said he had about a 5% chance of winning. Others said he had no chance. And it's very, very similar, Nasir, because you know, these so-called experts are saying Biden has got it in the bag. The polls show him leading. And, Donald Trump is once again the underdog, even though he is president of the United States and the incumbent, because there's never been an incumbent that's had to face the kind of opposition that President Trump's had to face.
No, you're absolutely correct. One of the things that I remember, I've been to so many Trump rallies, just went to a couple. He was in Gastonia, North Carolina. He was in Robeson County. And remember how they used to tell us, Jeff, back then that, just because you get, 20, 30,000 people in an event, that doesn't mean those people are going to vote for you. I mean, I'm telling you what, these were 3 hours away from me. And there were people that were making a trip the night before. But
Right.
to tell me that you're going to get in a car with your family, drive to an event 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, wait in line for 4 or 5 hours, get in the gate, wait for President Trump, hear him for 2 hours, wait for another hour and a half to get back to your car, and then drive back home, and you're going to go back home and go, yeah, I'm not voting for the guy. I mean,
no way. And, it happens everywhere. And he just spoke in Lansing, Michigan, and it was delayed. So people had to get there early in the morning in cold conditions and wait all day. He spoke for an hour and 20 minutes. Then, as you say, the long trip back home. And so not only are those people going to vote for him, but their family and friends are going to vote for him. So that is an indication of the kind of strength that he does have. And I really don't think, Nasir, that the polls are picking up the extent of Donald Trump's support.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I've done a deep dive in some of the county stuff, and I know Sharron and I are going to talk about that a little later in the program. But if you take a look, just to give an idea, in Pennsylvania, just to give you this too, Democrats have historically, they've always registered more people on election cycles than Republicans, because they somehow have the machinery, they do that. Just to give you a slight example, in Pennsylvania, Republicans are plus 100,000. In other words, there's 100,000 more Republicans registered just in Pennsylvania over the Democrats. And so speak to what's happening. I mean, Louisiana, that's going to be red. But you know what? If you hear the Democrats talking about it, they'll probably say that Louisiana's in play.
Well, here's what's interesting, Nasir, is that we have a Senate race going on here, and the Democrat is spending lots of money. And there is lots of money coming in on the Democrat side that we normally don't see. Look at Texas, look in Georgia. They're really making a play there. They're trying to hold on to their Senate seat in Alabama. They're trying to win Florida. So the Democrats have a big advantage as far as the money goes. One report that I looked at that I wrote about in the column showed that Biden had $180 million more than President Trump, which is, a significant advantage. And then you think all the independent expenditures of people like Michael Bloomberg and all these billionaires that are on his side. And then you think about all the advantage when you've got big media and the tech giants on your side. That is a contribution in itself worth billions of dollars.
Jeff, give us a sense of, you said that it would be a tremendous benefit, you wrote, for the nation if these biased pollsters who use flawed methodology, skewed questioning, and unfair sampling were wrong and had to vacate their profession. Do you think that if the exact same thing happens again, which I truly believe will, that it's going to be the end of polling, or do you think it's just going to continue on, that these guys will never learn?
Well, I think, if we have two elections in a row where the mainstream media and the mainstream polling are wrong, and you've got the outliers like, let's say, Rasmussen, Trafalgar, two of the polling groups which show a close race, or, maybe only 1 or 2 points between Biden and Trump. So if those polls once again are right, these other polls are wrong, who in their right mind would pay to hire these pollsters for your race? Because they're obviously missing the voter today. Is it the shy Trump voter? Is it because they're using too many landlines? Is it because they're oversampling woke young kids with cell phones? What are they not tapping into? Are they not tapping into some of the people that are just slamming down the phone? Are some people just not able to be reached? So they are really going to have to do some soul searching if they're wrong again, Nasir. And I hope they are.
Oh, now, Jeff, have you heard of in the, what is it? The University of Southern California. It's called USC Dorn's site. Have you seen that site at all? Or
I've seen it in the Real Clear Politics average of polls. They include that poll. And what I find interesting about that poll is that one consistently shows Donald Trump double digits behind.
now, one of the things is that in that poll too, they talk about the experimental polling questions, and they ask that what they have when they sample the question. They said, "Are you going to vote for Donald Trump?" They say that they find these shy voters are people that say no, but then when they turn the question around, they say, "Who do you know in your circle of friends that you think else is going to vote?" They get the answers, "Oh, my neighbor's going to do it, my best friend's going to do it," and they get a better chance. And if you take a look at that, they basically said that in all 5 elections in which they tested this question, the 2016 presidential, the 2017 French presidential, the 2017 Dutch parliamentary, the 2018 Swedish, and the 2018 U.S. House of Elections, that social circle question predicted the national and state level results better than the polls that were thought to have actually predicted each and every state. So I think that shy voter question, and there's another thing too, Jeff, and I want your thoughts on this. What do you think about the new demographic that's occurring within the Trump coalition, which I basically talked about is where, they say, come to Jesus. Well, what is this come to Trump movement? I basically call it that these are those people that are newly registered that are coming to Donald Trump.
That's what they're finding at the Trump rallies, Nasir. They're finding that the people are going to the Trump rallies who have never voted before or haven't voted in years and are being attracted to come out and support Donald Trump. So that's a factor. And then let's not forget, I do believe he's going to do better among Hispanic voters, African-American voters, and LGBT voters than the polls indicate, because a lot of those folks, I think, are not going to say that they're for Donald Trump. You've got the Brexit movement, you've got the walk-away movement, you've had all these things that have been going on to try to bring about more support for Donald Trump, and I think those have been successful. So, we got 8% of the black vote in 2016. If he gets 50% more, that's 12% of the black vote. I think that's doable. He might do better than that. And that's a real big significant difference in some of these states, Nasir.
You're true. I mean, I'm going to be talking about my prediction a little bit later on, but just to give people an idea, I think he's going to get somewhere between 15 to 20% of the black vote, and I would not be surprised if he was north of 20% in this election. Just to give you an idea, in North Carolina, the early balloting they're showing and the early voting, the black vote is already down about 1.8%. Let's call it 2% already from 2018. So there's some, if you take a look at some of the trends that are occurring, you wouldn't see it in the polls, but there is that thing in that smaller pie. And another thing I've talked about, you're always seeing on social media people that are leaving the Democratic Party for the Republicans. I hardly see it the other way around. I hardly ever see a Republican saying, "I'm walking away from the Republican Party."
Well, you do, Nasir, on MSNBC and CNN, because they have all these never Trump Republican analysts who say that Trump's the devil. So all of those people are your disgruntled never Trumpers, and I don't know whether they're registered Democrats or not, but they might as well be, because they're so foolish and ridiculous and filled with hatred toward the president. They don't sound like Republicans at all, really.
No, they don't. I think they're just plants, personally, but that's my point. But listen, we'd love to hold you over for another segment. Do you have time?
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you so much, folks. You're listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos Radio TV network, and also on the Conservative Commandos Radio TV show on AUN TV. We're here speaking with Jeff Crouere, and he's the host of Ringside Politics. We've got to take a quick break to do some business with our sponsors, because we're still a capitalist society right now. We've got Sharon Engel on the other side, so folks, stay with us. We'll be right back with Jeff Crouere and Sharon in just a couple of minutes.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I am Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and we've been talking with Jeff Crouere, who is the host of Ringside Politics, which airs on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans. He's also the host of the Jeff Crouere Show on AUN TV. He has been talking to us about the déjà vu election, which means that this election has some real similarities to the 2016 election. So, Jeff, Being a politician myself, we always count 15% if you're the incumbent. Your name recognition is there. People know you. They trust you. You have repeat voters. That goes away with Trump. It's hard to believe that something that has been statistically proven over time, I mean, years and years and years, just goes away because it's Trump.
That's a good point. He has universal name recognition. Even before he ran, Sharon, everybody knew Donald Trump. And now, my goodness, he's the most recognized figure in the world today. So you're right. I mean, that is a definite advantage he has. And he is a powerful incumbent. He is someone that takes advantage of media opportunities. And he loves doing his events and doing interviews. He's constantly getting exposure, Sharon. So, yeah, I do think that incumbent advantage does go to Donald Trump, definitely.
Well, then why don't we see it in the polls? I really want you to nail down what's going on here with the polls.
Well, I do think that there is an effort going on to depress the Trump vote and to try to discourage Trump voters and make people feel like the election is lost and that Donald Trump can't possibly win. So there is this drumbeat of negative news, negative polling, and all you hear from these reporters are, Donald Trump's behind by this, and he's behind by this. And, I think it is an effort to sway the election. So I think what the polls are doing, instead of reflecting the electorate, they're trying to sway the electorate in a certain direction.
I think you're right. There's a YouTube out there. It's kind of interesting on conformity. And it shows that 60% of the people will conform just due to peer pressure. If they think that everybody else is doing it, that's what they'll do. And so the agenda, the propaganda that comes at us all the time is saying you need to conform, even if it's wrong, even if it isn't what you believe, you need to conform. And so that's basically what you're saying, is that that's what the media is doing to us right now.
Oh, no doubt. And they're trying to get sort of a stampede away from Donald Trump. And, they've been trying from the beginning to demonize him. I mean, this is just sort of their latest effort. I mean, from the beginning, they've been trying to turn people against him by throwing everything they can at him and trying to make people think that he's an illegitimate president, or that he's engaged in illegal behavior, or he's a Russian plant, or he should have been impeached, or he hadn't done enough on COVID, or, on and on and on and on. Sharon, it's been one thing after another, one lie after another. And we need to have a reckoning for not only the pollsters, but for the media, the deep state, all of these forces that are opposing President Trump.
I couldn't agree more. But, every time we think it's within our grasp, something happens. So you have a little paragraph here. In the home stretch of this campaign, the laptop of Hunter Biden, the former vice president's son, was discovered at a Delaware computer repair shop. It contained thousands of emails linking Joe Biden to corrupt business dealings in China and the Crouere and the Ukraine. It solidified the public's impression of Joe Biden as a lying, crooked politician. Well, if it's so solid, why aren't we hearing more about it?
Well, you're very right, because the media is covering it up. The corrupt media is covering up this laptop. Can you imagine what the media would be doing if that were Donald Trump Jr.'s laptop? I mean, they tried to make Donald Trump Jr. into a criminal for going to one meeting with a group of folks, and included a Russian, talking about the Magnitsky Act, talking about something that was really not germane even to the campaign. And they turned that into some kind of major scandal. Hunter Biden is on this laptop committing crimes with who knows who, all kinds of nefarious dealings all over the world. Talking about the big guy, and of course that is Joe Biden, getting him a kickback. His associate now has come clean, Tony Bobulinski, going to go forward with a lot of accusations against the Bidens. I mean, it's just coming out, but we're not getting it from the mainstream news media. Twitter and Facebook is censoring it. So we're going to have to get the information out the best we can, Sharon. We're fighting very, very powerful forces.
Well, you talked about the money that's come into the Biden campaign, and I think of Ukraine and China and Hunter Biden making millions, possibly billions off of those deals. Is that where that money's coming from?
Well, I mean, look at look at Hollywood, look at the special interests, look at the billionaires, look at Wall Street. They're all behind Joe Biden. All the institutional forces are behind Biden. But foreign sources, who knows how they're funneling money to Biden. But they're certainly giving a lot of it to Hunter. And Hunter's got no qualifications for anything. I mean, sadly, the guy seems to be a crackhead and someone who has got a very, very long list of problems, personal problems. So he's got no expertise in China or Ukraine or anywhere else. I mean, he's just got the last name Biden. And that really is influence peddling. It's crooked. It's corruption. I mean, my real, I guess, major problem with what's happened under the Trump administration is that the president has been so poorly served, Sharon, by some of the team members that he has, some of the cabinet members. Where is the FBI on this issue of Hunter Biden's laptop? They've had the laptop since December of last year, and they've done nothing with it. I just find that really, really shocking and upsetting that we've got an FBI that is led by someone who is so inept and just a member of the deep state covering up for the Bidens. And this was President Trump's appointee. So it's very sad.
Well, it seems like a real direct conduit to me for any kind of money, foreign money coming in, when you can get to the vice president or maybe the president's son, depending on how close you think this race really is, and funnel your money through to them through that way. I would think they would be looking directly at just the money sources themselves, because definitely this is a place where foreign entities can extort, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And what if there were cameras catching Hunter Biden in the act? Is he basically being blackmailed? Could the Biden family be blackmailed by Russia or China? Supposedly he's been with people from Russia and China in some of these videos. And then, of course, you got the brother. Joe Biden's brother has been making big money on contracts. So it was like a family enterprise. You know, all these different members of the family making big money. And my question is, what did Joe get? Was that legal? And have all these folks looked into it? But then again, you know, Hillary Clinton committed all kinds of crimes, Sharon, and nothing happened to her. So you never know what's going to happen.
Well, and the beat seems to go on. If we got into Jeffrey Epstein, I'm sure we'd find more on the Clintons. But we have to go. I want you to tell our audience how they can get your book, America's Last Chance, how they can connect with you, follow you, read your stuff.
Thank you, Sharon. Well, a good resource is my website, which is jeffcrouere.com, and that's CROUERE.com. And they can order my book there. They can read my new columns, find out about my shows, get all kinds of good information there. And I hope they do subscribe to the YouTube channel and all the other things that I'm doing. So thank you, Sharon. That's the best way folks can keep up with me.
Well, and we'll just encourage them to get your book, America's Last Chance. Jeff Crouere, thank you so much for being our guest here on Conservative Commandos. Take care and God bless you.
Thank you, Sharon.
And we are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios around the world on the internet. And of course, you can also watch us on the AUN TV network in Northern California. I'm Sharon Angle here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh. After the break, we'll be talking with Tristan Justice, who's a staff writer at the Federalist, about Senate GOP details, FBI GSA abuses undermining the Trump transition. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more. Call the number on your screen now for a free no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and zero deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh. And if you'd like to hear a rebroadcast of our show, check out our website, ccrshow.com, ccrshow.com. You can also get to see us on TV at aun-tv.com, aun-tv.com. And with that, Nasir, would you please introduce our next guest?
Thank you, Sharon. We have Tristan Justice. He's a staff writer at The Federalist. He's focusing on the 2020 presidential campaigns at the present time. He's also written for the Washington Examiner and the Daily Signal. Tristan, he graduated from George Washington University. I believe the university is still named George Washington because you never know with these leftists and socialists out there trying to rename stuff. So is it still GWU?
We'll see how much longer. I mean, the changes are coming. The students have protested, believe it or not, for the last few years now, to not only change the name of the campus, but just about every building on the school. So we'll see how much longer it's named after our first president.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I heard, what was it? Isn't there a mascot, the Colonial, for one of the universities out there?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's our mascot.
That's your mascot. Didn't they get rid of him, or is he still?
They're trying.
Oh, okay, he's good. They're still trying to catch George Washington. All right, okay. Anyways, Tristan, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show. Listen, this article, Senate GOP details FBI GSA abuses undermining the Trump transition. Is this something that had already, I'm trying to wrap my head around this, was this something that, a report that was already done previously and has now just come to light? Or are they just starting to look at it now, 4 years later?
Well, Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa and Ron Johnson of Wisconsin have done an extraordinary job of really blowing back the curtain on all of the abuses from our deep state operatives of the last 5 years, trying to do everything in their power to no end to undermine this administration. And so part of that government oversight has been these different rounds of reports that are now coming out this year. And one of those reports came out on Friday, talking about how the General Services Administration colluded with the FBI to preserve documents with the Trump transition team that were supposed to be discarded, to preserve those documents to undermine the Trump campaign. So these documents that were just to give your viewers some background here, the General Services Administration works with the incoming presidential transition teams. So every 4 years, they kind of help administer the peaceful transition of power. And so this collection of documents that were used between the Trump transition team and the General Services Administration were supposed to be discarded after the conclusion of the transition. But what the GSA did secretly at the FBI's request was preserve these documents. And they preserved them for months on end until the FBI finally handed over these documents to the special counsel Robert Mueller's probe, which of course was part of a grand conspiracy theory perpetuated by the media and the Democrats and all of Donald Trump's opponents, that Trump was a literal agent of the Kremlin. And so what this report did on Friday was it really just highlighted another treasure trove of evidence how deep state operatives were doing everything in their power to undermine this administration.
So you write here that after the Trump for America learned of their preservation, they said the GSA refused to provide it. You go on to say that special counsel, they sought and they received the production of all the remaining transition team records of 13 different Trump for America officials. As you say about it, including CIA Director Mike Pompeo, Jared Kushner, and Keith Kellogg. So in other words, just to round this out, those records are supposed to be discarded or destroyed or given back to the Trump administration. They weren't. The Trump administration basically thought that, hey, they're doing their job. They're going to get rid of them. But instead, the GSA colludes with the FBI, and they basically do the FBI bidding.
And the media's bidding, and the Democrats bidding, and anyone who doesn't like Donald Trump. That's exactly right. According to this report, the GSA secretly went around the Trump campaign to preserve these documents. And when the Trump campaign ultimately figured out that the GSA had preserved documents that weren't supposed to be preserved, the GSA actually refused to hand over these confidential records to let the White House have any jurisdiction over their own records. And so it was really just part of this. I mean, this is a scandal, really. The whole ordeal is a scandal of how deep state operatives were abusing the government power to undermine the democratic process.
It really was. I mean, scandal is such a nice word to use here. What really pisses me off is that we should be using the word, a silent coup. I mean, that's exactly what these guys started. And you know what? It started with Barack Obama with his executive order that allowed the 16 or 17 agencies to basically take up all kinds of information between themselves. And then Sally Rice writes that memo, that covers her derriere. Just minutes before 12 o'clock, supposedly, that final email goes in to make it all look like it's just, completely on the level. And then they put us through, like you said, 3 years of this BS of taking down a duly elected president.
Absolutely. And they almost succeeded with this. They almost succeeded with this by, they had the media on their side. They had everyone on their side. Big tech has clearly been on their side. To launch this deep state coup. And they almost succeeded when they came to impeachment earlier this year, which of course became an impeachment over a phone call that had practically nothing to do with Russia. And the sweet irony in all of this, by the way, is that the impeachment shed more light on Hunter Biden than I think Democrats begged for. They launched this impeachment in part to protect their presidential frontrunner from facing tough scrutiny on his son's overseas business dealings, but that backfired by putting an even greater spotlight on Hunter Biden. And of course, here we are 1 year later. Now everything's coming out about Hunter Biden left and right that's threatening to sink Joe Biden's campaign. And it would have already sunk Joe Biden's campaign if not the mainstream media and big tech were doing everything in their power to protect their preferred presidential nominee.
Tristan, whenever we get people like yourself that are looking at this stuff and you're writing articles and you've got your contacts and people that have, said that they can give you information and some of your informants or I don't know what the legal or what in journalism, what they call. But how close do you think we really were coming to a situation where President Trump really could have been impeached? Because I never thought that it was going to come to that, but we're not privy to some of the stuff that you guys are uncovering. Did you feel at any time that, wow, this could really end with the downfall of a president? Or did you in your heart of hearts think, no, there's not enough there?
It's really hard for me to say, but I will say that impeachment has been a dream of the Democrats before Trump even took office. I mean, they were talking about this grand campaign to impeach the president moments after he took the oath of office, and they were alluding to it even before the election had took place. And so impeachment was this grand dream of the Democrats, and I think everyone really saw that. And so as long as we had at least a Senate majority, if not, as long as we prevented the Democrats from having a 60 Senate majority, impeachment was going to be impossible. That's just the reality of partisan politics today. Of course, we have a couple of squishy senators in there like Mitt Romney. But Mitt Romney, of course, that was probably a personal ploy just to get back at the president. It was a pointless stand. And so I don't think that we ever got really close to the reality of a successful impeachment. But the idea that impeachment period was coming was an absolute certainty because, again, Democrats are going to do this no matter what, and that is absolutely clear based on everything they've done and said for the past 4 years.
Well, we've got about another minute in this segment, so I just want to sort of ask you the question here in terms of your other article, in terms of Amy Coney Barrett. Did you really think when the nomination went through that the Senate and Mitch McConnell and whatever were going to be able to get this thing pushed through as fast as they did? Were you surprised at how little of a time in terms of the Senate had with questioning, considering what happened with Judge Kavanaugh?
Yeah, actually, I really was surprised. When I heard the news that Justice Ginsburg died, I actually thought there is no way that Republicans were going to be able to get this nominee through. We had 45 days until the election, and of course, I wasn't sure how the public would respond to Republicans' previous blockage of Judge Merrick Garland. But of course, I'm not an expert necessarily on Supreme Court history. And the more I learned about it, the more I read about it and how several justices have been confirmed in less time, including Justice Ginsburg, I realized, look, if anyone can get this nominee through, it's going to be Mitch McConnell, who has made this a hallmark of his legacy in the Senate, and Trump's too. So after a week or two, I was pretty certain that whoever Trump nominated was going to make it through.
Absolutely. Well, listen, folks, we're here with the Conservative Commandos Radio Network and the AUN TV Network. We're speaking with Tristan Justice, who's the staff writer on The Federalist. Tristan, we'd love to hold you over for another segment. Would you be kind enough to do so?
You bet.
Well, thank you. Well, folks, as I said, you can hear a rebroadcast of today's show. We are on the TalkStream Live. We're on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, American Political Radio, and also AM/FM 24/7. We've got to take a quick break with our sponsor. We'll be right back. And on the other side with my co-hosts, Sharon Engel and Tristan Justice. So, folks, don't go away. We've got so much more to talk about in just a few.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh. We've been talking with our guest, Tristan Justice, who is a staff writer at The Federalist and has written a couple of articles, one concerning the FBI and the GSA undermining the Trump transition, the other on the confirmation of Judge Amy Coney Barrett. And of course, if you'd like to see a rebroadcast of our show, check out our websites. We'd like to give a shout out to those who are watching us on the AUN TV network in San Francisco, San Rafael, Marin, North Bay, San Jose, Silicon Valley, Santa Rosa, Redding, Sacramento, Chico, Napa Valley, and Fort Bragg. We talked about this GSA. You know, my husband's a former federal employee. GSA signed our checks. So I was a little bit shocked that they had such an integral part to play in the transition, because I thought all they did was make sure that the employees downstream got paid. I didn't really think of them as a part of the deep state. The office we got paid out of was in Denver, Colorado. So, how did GSA become so integral to this deep state plot is all I can think of.
I really think it's just part of this broader part on the Obama administration of putting a lot of people in high places over the course of his 8-year tenure. And so, look, everyone calls the idea of a deep state this grand conservative conspiracy theory, but usually people who are saying that are part of the deep state themselves or have interests related to the success of the deep state. And so, look, when Democrats had the White House, the House, and the Senate for 2 years, and then the White House for the rest of 6 more years, there were a lot of vacancies that were filled by this president, strategically, by the way, which has successfully undermined a lot of things Republicans have tried to do, or at least gotten close to undermining most of the Republican agenda. I still think we've been vastly successful over the last 4 years, but I think this whole debacle, this scandal with the GSA, is just further proof that the deep state does, in fact, exist.
Now, is it naivete on the president's part that he didn't see this coming? Because many times a president coming into office, the first thing he does to transition is fire everybody. And we didn't see that with Trump.
Well, it's hard to fire a bureaucrat, but look, I really don't blame Trump for not seeing this coming. I don't think any of us could have, because in this country we've had a 230-year tradition of a peaceful and civil transfer of power. And what the Obama administration did is an absolute disgrace on our 230-year tradition. We've never had such an abuse of power like this, where the leading administration not only spies on the incoming campaign, but does things in their power to delegitimize the incoming president. And so it really just, talk about a war on American institutions. You have the left claiming that voting for Donald Trump is an attack on American democracy, yet these are the same people who have tried to delegitimize their political opponents, who are threatening to pack the court, who want to lower the voting age, destroy the Electoral College. Talk about an attack on American institutions. So really, what the Obama administration did here, it's a real scandal.
It is a scandal, and it seemed you kind of mentioned American institutions and the scandalous way that things have been handled in the last, actually since around 2009, when we first saw the Obamas come into a power that we'd never seen before in American history. I guess I want to talk to you a little bit about the Supreme Court. That's an institution there, and we've seen some really strange decisions come down. We thought we had the court, and then we don't have the court. What's going on over there? It's nice to have Amy Coney Barrett, but we're so sensitive now as the American public to what happened with Chief Justice John Roberts. He was supposed to be a conservative. Does she balance that out, or what are we do we really get conservatives on the court, or do we just get these mushy, spineless folks?
Well, one thing about Amy Coney Barrett, and this is one reason why she was so well received by the grassroots and conservative scholars, is that she's always been a reliably originalist scholar when it comes to the Constitution, which should give a lot of conservatives comfort, which it did give a lot of conservatives comfort throughout the entire process. And so I think people should be able to sleep comfortably at night knowing that she's a conservative jurist. But also, what I think her addition to the bench does, and there was a great op-ed by the Wall Street Journal out on this today, what her addition to the court does, in that it tilted the Supreme Court to a 6-3 conservative majority, it kind of takes some of this power out of Chief Justice John Roberts' hands. So when John Roberts decides now to decide with the minority opinion, the liberal bloc of justices, Justice Clarence Thomas being the majority the longest serving member on the bench, he will be able to decide then who writes the majority opinion. And so that kind of gives power to a bolder conservative justice on the court. So that's another reason why Amy Coney Barrett's addition to the high bench will be really effective at the trajectory of the court.
Do you think that we're going to see a little more conservative flow from John Roberts from now on? Because it's not who does it advantage for him to go with the minority now? He'll always be of the minority opinion, won't he?
He might. He's certainly been disappointing to a lot of conservatives, clearly, in the last decade. But I'm not really sure where he goes from here on out. I assume he's probably going to have a number of rulings that continue to disappoint conservatives in the future. But again, I also think Amy Coney Barrett's addition to the court is going to result in a more, I would say, a bolder conservative bench now that we have people who are more strict constructionists than John Roberts has shown himself to be.
I guess we've all been wondering what was in it for Justice John Roberts to go with the minority in the first place. Why would he do that?
I'm not really sure. It's probably just, it might have something to do with his legacy. That's probably why Anthony Kennedy made some of the decisions that he did in his rulings. But, Supreme Court justices, in a lot of ways, aren't that different from other politicians, such as senators, House members, presidents even, in that they want to cement a legacy. It is a human thing, I think, to want to cement some type of unique legacy on the bench. And I think that might have been part of John Roberts' kind of ploy. So, and that could be it, but, I'm not certain on it at all.
Well, your guess is as good as mine, and I just like to get differing opinions on that, because certainly we've been scratching our heads out here in the heartland wondering what's going on with a supposedly conservative judge and why they would be acting like a politician, because that's the whole point of a lifetime appointment, isn't it? Is that you don't have that political pull.
Right, and it very well could be just the way, it could just be what John Roberts genuinely believes, and his philosophy might have changed over the years. I mean, that's the thing about a lifetime appointment, too. People's ideologies kind of change over their lifespan. I mean, in the last 20 years, I've had different opinions on things since college even. So, I mean, it could have just been John Roberts's evolving philosophy, which is still valid. One can disagree with it or not, but I still think it's relatively valid.
Well, that's scary to me, because we've always said that you evolve from a more leftist place because you have a heart when you're young. And once you get a little older, you get a brain, and so you become more conservative. So this is not a good trend if he's going the other direction.
Not for conservatives, no. But again, that's the thing about lifetime appointments, is that, these people, their opinions and philosophies still could evolve over the years, resulting in someone pretty different from who you were expecting to serve.
Well, Tristan, Justice, we're at the end of our time again. It's always so fun to talk with you about these things. Could you tell our audience how they can friend you, follow you, read your articles, just generally get to know you better?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So the best way is probably to go on my Twitter account. It's it's just my last name and first name, Justice Tristan, JUSTICE TRISTAN. And it's just one word, no space.
Thank you so much, Tristan Justice, for being our guest here on Conservative Commandos radio show. Take care and God bless you.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
And we are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM/FM 24/7. Of course, you can watch us on the AUN TV in Northern California. We are going to be coming right back after this break with our guest for the next segment. And his name is Rick Moran. He's with PJ Media, and he's written an article, Biden's transition from oil comment becomes a big fracking problem in Pennsylvania. Don't go away. We'll be right back after these messages.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and we'd like to give a shout out to those listeners in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Nevada, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Colorado, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. And of course, you can watch us on the AUN TV network in Northern California in San Francisco, San Rafael, Marin, North Bay, San Jose, Silicon Valley, Santa Rosa, Redding, Sacramento, Chico, and Fort Bragg. Soon coming to Reno, Lake Tahoe, and Carson City, Nevada. And with that, Dr. Shaikh, would you please introduce our next guest?
Thank you, Sharon. Our guest is Rick Moran. He's one of our people that's always come here on our show. He also happens to be the Chicago editor for PJ Media, a blog editor at American Thinker, and he has his own blog, Right Wing Nut House. I love that title. So, Rick, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Thank you, Doctor.
Well, we want to talk to you about your article here. I'm going to try to be real careful as I say it. It's titled, Biden's Transition from Oil Comment Becomes a Big Fracking Problem in Pennsylvania. So you start off the article basically talking about that, Joe Biden campaigned in Pennsylvania. And this whole thing started out, I think, where President Trump, I think this is the ingenuity that he decided he was going to let Joe Biden talk a little bit more and do a little bit less of an intervention. And I'll tell you what, he threw out that fishing line and Joe Biden swallowed it hook, line, and sinker because he basically said on that last debate, he made the comment that he was going to, get rid of fracking and he was against big oil. And it went downhill from that. So start off with that and tell us your, when you write this article, where were you coming from on it?
Yeah, well, the Democratic Party believes one thing, that is no more fracking, and Biden is saying another, which is, there'll be fracking, just not on federal lands. So, who's going to win that tussle? Well, I don't think there's any doubt that the Democratic Progressive Caucus in Congress will see to it that there's not going to be any more fracking. So, Biden can talk all he wants to, but people who follow politics in Washington know full well that he's just giving lip service to the idea that he'll allow fracking, because it won't. It'll be in courts for a few years. It'll be in courts, being adjudicated, but it's gone. I mean, that's as long as the Democrats are in power.
Rick, you've been doing this. You've been, covering elections and politicians, obviously. And my question to you is, does it ever, to me, especially in this day and age, I just don't understand how somebody can literally look in a camera and lie about their stances and not think that people are going to check up on him unless they think that the people that they're talking to are just idiots, morons, and stupid. I mean, can you give me a sense of how that occurs?
It's politics. It's been going on for 240 years. I mean, say one thing and do another. I mean, that's a definition of politics in a democracy. So, there's nothing new at all in this. And let's be honest, shall we? We had Donald Trump looking right into the camera and saying 4 years ago, I'm going to build a great, big, beautiful wall, and Mexico's going to pay for it. I mean, come on. Nobody believed him then, and nobody believes him now, of course. So, this is what politicians do, and you just have to look through what they say and concentrate more on what they do, and eventually you'll be able to figure them out when they're saying, when they're telling a lie and when they're telling the truth.
Now, let me ask you something, Rick, in terms of where do you feel, for example, that Kamala Harris is playing into this? Because she herself is bringing a lot of the progressive ideas from the left on board, where I think Joe Biden in his 47 years was probably more of a centrist. I would say he was more of a John F. Kennedy Democrat early on. I'm just, in his early years, and he's sort of now being forced, to the left. But I mean, Kamala Harris makes no bones about her position in terms of fracking and getting rid of oil. So do you think a lot of this is coming from, his running mate?
Oh, as far as,
the fracking and just the war on oil?
Green, the green agenda, the Green New Deal. This is actually coming from the far left wing of the Democratic Party, which is now the mainstream of the Democratic Party, which means that Joe Biden, if he wants to get anything done in Congress, is going to have to bow down to the progressive caucus, the progressive wing in the Democratic Party. Now, just as an example, I wrote a piece on this today, as a matter of fact. How far left will Biden be forced to go? Well, he's going to have to go very far left. The Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes and Ilhan Omar's are going to exact a heavy, heavy price for their support on things that Biden wants to do, like the mask mandate and some of the coronavirus measures he wants to implement, the massive testing and all that. He's going to need the help of the left to get that passed, a solid left, because there are a lot of Democrats in flyover states that are not going to be happy going to their constituents and saying, "Oh, I passed a mask mandate." Well, no, that's not going to fly in a lot of places. So he's going to need those progressives, and he'll pay a heavy price for their support.
Well, don't you see around the country, I believe it was one of the representatives in New Mexico, and a Democratic representative in New Mexico, basically sort of saying, hey, before you talk about, getting rid of fracking or getting rid of oil, I think we have to, think about these things or whatever. So, you wrote in your other article, I want to segue into it, in terms of the battle for the Senate is too close to call. Just like you're talking about that, what type of what's going to happen with the House and the Senate. What is your sense right now in terms of, in your article, give us a sense of what you feel is going to happen with the House of Representatives and the Senate in terms of will they stay the same with their parties that they are right now, or do any of the chambers have a chance of flipping?
Well, they both do. Well, no, I'm sorry. The House is going to remain Democratic. That's a given. There are not enough seats in play currently for the Republicans to gain control. There might be a dozen seats that are undecided, and that's not enough. Republicans I think they need 17 seats. I haven't written about it in a long time, so I'm not exactly sure. The Senate, however, is in definite play, and there are 12 main state races, Senate races, that Democrats are leading in, are within 5 points, or are going to wrap up. So you have 3 Republicans probably who are going to go down. You got Cory Gardner in Colorado. He's definitely going down. He's running against John Hickenlooper, the former governor, popular former Democratic governor. And then you got poor Susan Collins in Maine, who has hung on the last 2 elections that she, but is probably going to get beaten this time because of the idea that you can actually vote for your second choice, and your second choice can actually become your first choice if in the right circumstances. So she's going to go down because of that. And there are several other Republicans who are very, very vulnerable. Even Lindsey Graham in South Carolina is neck and neck with the Democrat there. So I think the chances of a Democratic takeover of the Senate are about 50-50 right now. The most analysts would give them a better chance, but these things have a tendency to tighten up the last few days of a race, and I think we're seeing that pretty much across the board. So we'll have to see.
Rick, in your experience, do you feel, especially going back 4 years ago, that when you take a look at the polls, when I take a deep dive into what's happening with registration, when I look at the mail-in ballots, when I look at early voting, they tell me a completely different picture of what's happening with the presidential polls. But do you feel the polls at the state and the House level, or the Senate level and the state level, do you really feel that those are more on point than the presidential polls? For example, do you really feel that, from your sense, that Lindsey Graham is really in deep trouble in South Carolina and McSally in Arizona?
Well, I suppose that's how you look at polls. I mean, polls are a snapshot of a moment in time, and all of the things that are going on in the world at that moment go into a person's decision on whether they want to vote for the Republican or the Democrat. So, but over a period of weeks or months, you get a sense of the trend, and the trend is not good in South Carolina for Lindsey Graham, nor is it very good for Donald Trump in a lot of states. So, that's you can say, well, their polls are wrong, and they have been known to be wrong. But when you're taking a look at trends over, a long period of time, they tend to be accurate. So, Donald Trump is in trouble. There's no doubt about that. Everybody knows that. Is he going to lose? For sure. And you really hope that Joe Biden thinks that way, because as it stands right now, it is so close in so many states that Trump has to win, for instance. And it's not very close in states that Trump was going to lose anyway. California, Illinois, New York, New Jersey. Those states he was going to lose by 20 points, which is where Biden's national margin is coming from. It's coming from these massive majorities that he's getting in California, where he might win 67% of the vote. And that's the biggest state, and there are, 20 million votes or something in California. So, you do the math. It's real easy. Mm-hmm. It's Biden winning the big states by a lot, and Trump winning other states by a lesser amount. And
well, we're here speaking with Rick Moran. He's PJ Media's Chicago editor and a blog editor at the American Thinker. And folks, we're coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn American Political Radio, and AM/FM 24/7, and also seen on the AUN TV network in Northern California. We've got to take a couple of minutes to do some business with our sponsors. We'll be right back with our guest, Rick Moran, and with my co-host, Sharon Engel, on the other side. So folks, don't go. We've got so much more to talk about.
Attention homeowners, do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharon Engel here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and with our guest, Rick Moran, who is PJ Media's Chicago editor and a blog editor at the American Thinker. He also has his own blog, and it is Right Wing Nut House. Rick has written a couple of articles we've been talking about. Biden's transition from the oil comment becomes a big fracking problem in Pennsylvania. And the other article has to do with the upcoming elections for the U.S. Senate. The battle for the Senate is too close to call, says Rick Moran. Rick, I wanted to just ask you about this big fracking deal in Pennsylvania. Biden seems to be just trying to run to the middle as fast as he can, but his support in the Democrat Party is really holding him back. But some of these comments are kind of fun. Look, Biden says, I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. My great-grandfather was a mining engineer, so I come from coal country, and I'm not talking about eliminating fracking. I'm just said no more fracking on federal lands. Well, actually, how much fracking goes on federal lands? I thought, most of it was leased lands from the states. Is that not correct?
I'm really not that familiar with the ins and outs of fracking as far as, what land it's done on. I know it's very, very big in West Texas and New Mexico and Arizona. And Pennsylvania has its share of frackers, that's for sure, but it's more of an oil coal type state. And of course, Biden wants to get rid of coal completely, wants to wipe it off the face of the earth. But that was an issue 4 years ago, and everybody said that, that was going to happen because, frankly, coal is too expensive. It's far more expensive than natural gas, and far more expensive than oil. So you've got the coal industry is dying, and as more and more power plants that used to run on coal are now switching to natural gas and solar and all that other stuff. Pennsylvania is an energy state, though, because they do have a lot of oil production. And I'm sure a lot of those oil workers in Pennsylvania were very interested to hear what Joe Biden had to say about this transition, which is, it's going to happen. I mean, look, whether you believe in global warming or not is not the point. The point is that eventually solar power and wind power are going to be cheaper than oil. And that is what's going to be this transition, okay? It's not going to happen for 10, 15 years. But Biden can talk about transition all he wants, and if people's electric bills get too high, they'll scream bloody murder. So he really doesn't have much of a choice in the matter. It'll proceed, the changeover will proceed as the market dictates, and that's the end all and be all right there.
Well, I guess the thought of it is that natural gas now has been pretty much the go-to and has become the part of our energy independence here in the last few years, and really gives cheap energy and a much more reliable source than solar or wind. Living next to California has been an eye-opening experience here, and in your article you talk about what will happen with this transition if Biden is successful in going to fossil fuels. It's not going to go smoothly, is it, Rick?
No, it's not. And part of the problem in California where they're having rolling blackouts because they don't have enough electricity for everybody when it's very hot outside. Part of the problem is that the solar power companies and the wind power companies oversold how much of the excess electrical needs they'd be able to soak up. So what they ended up doing was just lying to the governor and telling the state, oh sure, you got a problem with it's hot outside and you need more electricity? No problem, we'll supply it. Well, they came up about 5% short, which is that's like a chasm when you're talking about generating electrical power.
Absolutely.
So now they've got these rolling blackouts. They've got sky-high electrical bills because they're not delivering on price either. And it's the fastest-growing industry in California, and they still can't get the production going to the point
That's
where
right.
they can do their thing. So I would not worry about oil being gone anytime soon in California, even though the governor wants no cars on the road by 2035, or at least no gasoline cars. Yeah, right.
It's really been interesting for us, like I said, watching what goes on in California. You made another statement in your article about the transition. I guess the having those Senate seat races in play. This one was interesting to me. You said North Carolina race is seen by some forecasters as a bellwether for Senate control, and may also be a bellwether for whether old-fashioned sex scandals still matter in an age where a thrice-married Republican president, who was once a New York City tabloid fixture and has been linked to extramarital affairs and dalliances with adult film stars, is beloved by evangelical Christians. That's the first that I've had anybody really mention Trump's personal life and how it relates to the block of voters, evangelical Christian voters, because I thought that was pretty much a decided thing that the evangelicals were in his camp.
Well, they are, and they have looked past all the scandals, the personal scandals in Trump's life, and decided that he's better for their agenda than the Democrat, and they've been right. I mean, his anti-abortion rules and what he's done overseas, and defunding Planned Parenthood, or at least partially defunding it, is exactly what they wanted. They're calling him the best anti-abortion president in history, and he may very well be.
Well, I thought that was kind of interesting that you brought that up, because you said that Cunningham has been cheating on his wife, and yet it doesn't appear to have affected the race with him and Tom Tillis. You think Tom Tillis will survive? I mean, it sounds like, in discussing this whole morality issue, it's a non-issue.
It is a non-issue, and I can remember, and I'm an old man, so I can remember way back. I can remember Gary Hart, the Democrat senator from Colorado, who was running for president and was thought to be, the nominee before even the primary started, and was seen in that picture with that blonde bimbo on a boat. And that ruined it. I mean, it was just he was totally out of the picture after that. So I can remember when sex scandals ruined a politician's life, much less his political career. But these days, wives apparently stick with their man, and I forget the governor's name in New York. What was his name? Elliot something. Anyway, he had that prostitute scandal, and his wife showed up at the press conference, standing there, so supporting him. So it's a different world.
It is a different world, and we saw how Hillary stood by her man too. So I guess that's the whole deal. Rick, we've got to go now. It's the end of our time, but we want you to tell our listeners how they can friend you, follow you, read your articles, just generally get to know you.
pjmedia.com. You'll find about 8,000 of my articles there, and then I have another 8,000 or so on American Thinker. So I don't write for them anymore. I should have let you know that. I don't write for American Thinker anymore. I'm too busy with PJ Media. So,
but you are an American Thinker.
Yeah, and, I mean, you can find me. I'm in the archives. You can't miss me.
That's great. Well, Rick Moran, thank you so much for being our guest here on Conservative Commandos Radio Show. Take care, and God bless you.
Certainly, you too.
And we are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM/FM 24/7. I'm Sharron Engel here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh, and we'll be right back with more after this break.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more. Call the number on your screen now for a free no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and zero deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Engel here with my co-host, Dr. Nasir Shaikh. And you know what, Nasir, Anna Little used to say, time flies when you're having fun, and it's just flown past us today. Could you tell our audience how they can friend you and follow you, and also would you thank our guests?
Thank you, Sharron. Yeah, if you want to, you can go to my website, which is just DR, my name, NasirShaikh.com, drNasirShaikh.com, Twitter, @NasirShaikh Show, that's @NasirShaikh or on Facebook, The Nasir Shaikh Show, that's The Nasir Shaikh Show. And yeah, let's thank our guests today. Our first guest we had was Jeff Crouere. He is a host of Ringside Politics, and he also has his own YouTube channel, and he was talking to us about the DÉJÀ election. We also want to give a shout out. We had Tristan Justice. He is a staff writer at The Federalist, primarily focusing right now on the 2020 presidential campaign. And Tristan was talking to us about Senate GOP details with the FBI, the GSA, and the abuses that were undermining the Trump transition. And he also was talking to us a little bit about Amy Coney Barrett as well. And then finally, returning guest Rick Moran. He's PJ Media's Chicago editor, and he also has his own blog, The Right Wing Nut House. And he was talking to us about his article. I'm going to say it really nicely. It was Biden's transition from oil comment becomes a big fracking problem in Pennsylvania. So once again, 3 great guests lined that we've had with lots of information for listening and viewing audience, Sharon. And, throw it right back to you. How can people know how to follow you and see what you're doing out there?
Well, it's simple. Just go to SharonEngel.com, SharonEngel.com. But for right now, we're out of time. We got to run. We got to go. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow on TV and on radio.